How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which was excellent. They were all in costume and everything. It was fantastic. And the turnout was good. And also at the last council meeting, there was discussion about pool rental, possibly for parties, and opening on Sundays. And the committee, the Recreation Board formed a committee, and they're going to be looking into that. So
Summer's gone.
I don't think it's going to happen this year, but it's definitely something that they were interested in, and the committee was formed. So we should have more information next meeting.
Please touch base with the attorney about liabilities.
Yeah, there's some that Somerville, Petersburg Park again Sunday. Mom.
Yeah, our Saturday turnouts are good.
We're missing out, Greg, on that. We really are.
And there's Mom.
Please. Board of Health doesn't meet in July or August, but I do have a piece from the Office of Vital Statistics. There were 8 marriage licenses for $24, 32 marriage certified copies, $317, and 248 death certified copies for $818 for a total for the month of June, $1,159. And under municipal court, the Raritan Borough Municipal Court collected $27,008 for the month of June. $11,809.25 went to the borough. And for our donation from the car wash at the Raritan Mall, we collected $1,004.
Under police, there was 877 general calls. They responded to 52 motor vehicle accidents. There were 12 fire calls. Anybody interested in the full report can get that by going to the police department. There was 17 hours of overtime, about $973 in overtime this month. Personnel for police, they are still looking to hire an additional police officer. We received 13 applications and there's actually 3 candidates that are applicable. So we should be ready to interview in the very near future. Our new vehicle should be in the first week of August. We've lost a couple of vehicles. One transmission has gone. Car 3 is a blown transmission, which we will be disposing of under new business. And we're still awaiting the model policy under the New Jersey State Attorney General. He has directed a delay in the deployment of the body-worn cameras until a policy can be put in place for the guidance of their use. So that's it for as far as
They're also looking to fund those too, right, Chief?
Excuse me?
They're looking to fund those body cameras, the state. So we would have to go out of pocket.
State police already have.
They really are.
So I'll get a refund.
And
I
that's
have
it.
a question. Do they have
State
cell
police
phones
is going
now?
live with them, right?
Crack down on cell phones,
I
or
heard
that's
on the
not
news
like
today.
going
I know we use it.
cell phone stuff?
A lot of cell phone stocks.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Yes, sir.
State model policy came out today. Actually, it's a directive, so
Not
I need a
on
copy from the
here.
attorney.
No.
Not on here. They have summons, moving, parking,
Most-
radar.
You kind of said it in court, as I do on Monday afternoons, and almost the first half hour is taken up with cell phone violations.
Oh, if you sit on my front porch, you'd be amazed at the number of vehicles going down second.
Some people have third offenses, some
That's
people
mine.
third offenses.
Huh?
By
Oh,
mine.
by you like that.
Paul, and are you done?
Yes, I am.
Paul.
Historic's planning on doing a walking tour. The first one they did was quite successful. They're looking at it for the fall. Don't have a specific date at this time. And the Basilone committee meeting is tomorrow.
The Environmental Commission didn't have a meeting this month because we didn't have a quorum.
They're never having meetings, are they?
Well, we've had them, but I'm hoping to remedy this tonight. We passed the ordinance that allowed us to create 2 alternate positions on the commission. And I have 2 names I'd like to put forward tonight. Charles Toy and Keith Abrams. Charles Toy is a longtime resident, lives on Richard Street. And Keith Abrams just moved into town in the last 2 months. He's a lawyer from New York, and he's looking to get into environmental law. He's a former prosecutor, and I spoke with him today, and quite frankly, I was quite impressed that somebody who's just moved into town wants to get involved with the town right away. You know, whereas we have people that have been here for 50 years and have no interest in getting involved in anything.
Nice.
And here this guy comes in, and he's moved into Stonebridge development,
Nice.
by the way. So I spoke to him on the phone. I was impressed with him. So I put forward those 2 names as the alternate 1 and 2, Charles Toy and Keith Abrams. Do we have to do it
Second that.
individually?
Excuse me?
Have to do it individually?
I think we could do them together. And we have a continuing problem because there are two members who we have contacted who no longer live in town, who are not responding to anything. Can we simply summarily remove them?
They haven't been, either one has been to a meeting over here.
You said you have to send them a letter and have a hearing.
Right.
So we do have to have a hearing even if they, what if they don't respond to the
Then
letter?
it's a de
Then it's settled.
facto, right.
Okay. All right, let's do that.
All right.
I seconded the nominations.
So 2 names have been placed in nomination for a membership on the Environmental Commission. Alternates, yes.
Yes.
Just do voice vote.
Councilwoman Cara,
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Council President Lindell.
Aye.
Councilman Sibilia.
Abstain.
Excellent. Excellent. Anything else, Jim?
No.
All I got is litigation, Salsa versus the borough has been settled, and that's it.
I have three letters that we received. One came from Mark Calabar, Freeholder Director. On behalf of the entire, Joanne, on behalf of the entire Freeholder Board, congratulations upon the Borough of Raritan ranking among the top 100 New Jersey suburbs to raise a family by niche.com. It is an honor for Somerset County to have 10 of its 21 municipalities on this list. Key assessments include public education, safety, community involvement, and access to family necessities. Raritan ranked in the top 50 among 11,372 suburbs analyzed and 3,250 suburbs ranked. Quite an accomplishment. Once again, congratulations. Please also accept the board's collective best wishes for the future Mark Calabar, Freeholder Director. So that was nice. And this is from the Department of Transportation. Dear Mary Liptak, thank you for your interest in the New Jersey Department of Transportation's fiscal year 2015 bikeway grant program. Unfortunately, the DOT is unable to provide a bikeway grant for the Rat River Greenway Bikeway Orlando Drive Extension Project. The bikeway program continues to be popular and a competitive program. This year's solicitation resulted in 64 applications requesting more than $23.8 million of the $1 million available. And NJDOT makes every effort to fund as many projects as possible, but the funding needs far exceed available resources. Sincerely yours,
Mayor,
Mark.
as I sent an email to everyone, Raritan never made an application for bikeway under that grant program.
Really? So
Right,
we-
so it may have been directed to Raritan Township and not Raritan.
That's in
Borough.
Raritan Borough. All right,
County maybe?
maybe the county did it.
Maybe the county
And
put it in on that.
this is from Alan Crudilla, who is in charge of the Archives and Records Management Director from the county. The enclosed document is the shred certificate for this past weekend's Operation Secure Shred hosted by the Borough of Raritan. The number of cars was 285 from multiple Somerset County municipalities with a total shred volume of 12,225 pounds. Thank you for hosting the event and providing staff to handle the shred activity. So congratulations. And I received this from PSE&G, and it's a nice little packet that they sent out, and it's called Here for Each Other. And the PSE&G Foundation and Sesame Street are pleased to bring you an exciting emergency preparedness and response program to help our young families prepare for an emergency. And it has, those of you who remember, I don't know who these people are because I don't have Elmo, and who's this? It's a work, this is in English, this side is in Spanish. and it's a workbook designed to help parents and with young children cope with emergency situations. And there is a complete CD in here that you can put in and play. And they suggest that the kit could, the CD could be shown before the Recreation Department's family movie night, or a link could be offered from the municipality, Board of Education, or grammar school websites. Additional ideas can be found in one of the enclosures. And they suggest that you do it in library group, preschool, or kindergarten classes. So this is available, and I don't know whether this should go to OEM, or whether it should go to Recreation to use, or we should just pass it on to Kennedy School.
Kennedy School, and maybe the library kids, kids.
I think the library,
Yeah, I think so too. That would be a great idea. Okay.
because they do movies, they're all
They do movies all the time.
And they have a whole kids room, so I think that's where.
And they're gonna have a wonderful addition to show
Yes,
that.
they are. Yes, they are. All right, any we have old business. Dan, that's yours. Amending section 207, fireworks.
I don't know if we ever really decided what we wanted to incorporate. We said we didn't want to define a chord, right? And then I think there was one.
It was
other-
lifting it up, it was
It's already-
the
it already-
pallet,
it
it
already-
was how we were gonna have it lifted.
It already requires that.
Yeah, it's in there.
So you were satisfied that no action needed to be taken? I had asked Frank to call you. I don't know if you've had any discussion. Did you have any discussion at all?
I
Maybe
had
you
some
should-
discussion with them some time ago, not.
Maybe you should now, is that possible?
Sure.
Just to make sure that he's on board and you're on board, because it's, I mean, and I mean both ways. It's very possible you're not seeing something in terms of the question he's phrasing. Or maybe he's not seeing something in the ordinance that he needs
I'll
to
do
see.
that.
Okay, very good.
Mayor, I have some old business.
Yes, ma'am.
The office downstairs, when you first come in to the left, that's now vacant, correct?
Yes, it
That has
is.
been vacant, correct?
Yes, it is.
That was intentionally made vacant for property maintenance, correct? That was supposed to be
At least a
for
year and a half ago.
property maintenance. Why has property maintenance not been moved there? Why is property maintenance still in the
I
firehouse?
think that this, you know, you have this files, you have files from Lou Gara that had to be moved out. I don't
Well,
think everything's been moved out.
In all fairness, it's been almost 2 years now. And I know we had an issue at the firehouse in the last week over, there was painting being done and vehicles over whose car was there and who's parking where they shouldn't, and cars blocking fire trucks and apparatus possibly not being able to get out because property maintenance. It is time for property maintenance to be moved back to the building and out of the firehouse. We cannot have a vehicle blocking our apparatus. It absolutely is a safety issue. Under no circumstance, we had that room cleaned out for a reason. Everyone should be here. The secretary for property maintenance is here. There's adequate parking
Are you suggesting
here.
that the computer at 16 Anderson Street be moved?
Yes.
Is that what you're suggesting?
Well,
There is a, we did especially put in a jack.
Well, there's been problems over there, there's been problems with heating, and there's just been a multitude of issues that have gone on over there. Now there's parking issues.
I know some of them have been addressed, but you just have to tell me what if you
Well,
want the computer.
The purpose of that front office being cleaned out was to move property maintenance here. So he was with his secretary here. I don't understand why property
I
maintenance
think
is
property
still.
maintenance is still in the firehouse because that's where he wants to be. And I don't think this is a decision that, this is the property maintenance office. It's here, it's in this building, and that's where he needs to be.
Because this is, I mean,
Well, then move it.
this is where he should be.
Yes.
This is where,
Yes.
he's part of
Well-
the construction, he's part of.
Well, I just answered the question of whether or not you want a whole separate computer system there in addition to 16 Anderson Street or not.
No, you move the computer from 16 Anderson Street here.
Fine.
Those things move.
Because in all fairness,
It's a
I mean,
no-brainer.
God forbid, I mean, when I heard that we had a vehicle
Let's just move it.
blocking a fire truck, that, out of the question. So, and then I was thinking about it, we purposely moved the baths alone, so property maintenance could be here, and then I'm thinking, my God, we did this 2 years ago, why have we had to
There were
make it
questions of
this?
files, painting,
Yeah.
et cetera, but if you want to
It's
expedite
been
it,
2
fine.
years, it's time.
That's
It's,
cool.
there's no excuse at this point.
There's no
Yeah.
reason for them to do it.
This way, everybody's in one central location, period.
I have an issue for old business too.
Okay.
The light pole at Somerset and Anderson. I have been informed that that has been, the contractor and the insurance company have been informed. There was a police report made on that. And where are we with that?
We mailed, is that public service now, if I remember correctly?
It's one of our light posts that they
The
knocked
green
over.
one.
Mark Decorative Greenwood?
Yeah.
Well,
knocked over when
let
they
me
were doing the work on the
notify
building.
Sheridan Valley, yeah.
Who shared that?
He's from public service, the public service company.
I think we need to find out where his insurance company is, or how they want this handled, or apparently we have all that information, I just don't think we're moving on it.
I know that they've been
The
notified.
rubber cone is still there on top
I know,
of where
I
the,
know.
where it was.
While we're talking about signs, where are we with the sign on Woodmere Street?
Yeah.
That's been mailed to the company, so far as I remember, to the,
That's still under repair?
yes, I think Bobby Fulminante mailed it out, and I think there's a solar piece that needs to be replaced. The company has it.
Sorry, Dan, don't need to bombard you,
No,
but
it's
these
all
are
right.
like ongoing
But I'm here
issues that have been laying around for a long
Did you
time.
get that on, did you get that on tape? That's what I'm here for? That's what he said, that's what he said. All right, let's move on, Dan, to new business, that's your disposition of the police.
This is an item where I think Councilwoman Garrett mentioned the engine's blown, so the chief is recommending that we sell it in the county auction. And I'd like the council to, this could be more than, probably not $3,150, but it could be. So if the council gives authorization, we will handle it.
I'd like to make that motion.
Second.
Perfect. All right. Roll call.
Councilwoman Karen?
Yes.
Councilman Fooey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Gawaldi?
Yes.
Council President Lavelle?
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia?
Yes.
All right, I have something I want to bring up under new business. And that is the condition of the Main Street. You walk down, when I walk Main Street in the morning, the weeds growing out of the ground. We find people, private individuals who have weeds that are growing as high as some of them that are out there. There is one weed in front of Pat Morocco's law firm that has to be at least 4 feet tall. It's in the right of way. It's our responsibility, I feel, to clean that Main Street. There are weeds coming up through the grates of the trees. And it's only where from, say, First Avenue down to Coddington Street, where the pavers are between, where the concrete is between the pavers and the curb. It's absolutely a mess. There's no reason why this Main Street has to look like that.
Actually,
Did you see it the other
I
morning?
did see that, but I also noticed too, when we talk about the right-of-ways, I know we had an issue last week with the trees. But talking about the grass and everything on the right-of-ways, if you go up Anderson and Thompson Street
It's
too,
a mess.
on the right-of-ways, it's horrible. I call Thompson Street the dirtiest street in
And
town.
you know why?
And-
Excuse me, let me interrupt you. Are you interrupting me before
I know, no.
Okay. When they put Anderson Street in, when they put the pavers in, Anderson Street was supposed to be done with the pavers. They did it correctly. Thompson Street was, hey, we got bricks left over, let's do it. So they were never laid correctly. They were never laid in sand, they were just plopped down. The dirt was dug up, they just threw them down, and it's a mess. And there's one house over there on the corner of Colfax and Thompson that is absolutely, completely overgrown, and there's no excuse for that.
I mean, if you look on Wall Street in Somerset, right there around on the opposite corner of the ice cream place, there's stone in there, and the grass has got to be 8 inches to 12 inches high in that little area. Are we going to maintain the right-of-ways if we're going to I mean, we need a
had this
consistent
conversation-
policy here.
We had this conversation last year. Last year, we made a policy decision. We went in, we maintained them all, and we made it very clear to the people that we would take care of it this year, and next year, you were on your own, you were gonna take care of it, otherwise, there was gonna be implications, because Adele had come up and she made it very clear that Nevia Street residents were maintaining, she works very hard to maintain this. I remember very clearly Adele getting up, she was very adamant on how hard she worked on hers.
I guess this, again, is another law that we enact and
It's
we
a
don't
property
enforce
maintenance.
it.
Yes, it
It's
is
a property maintenance thing. And if you look at Thompson Street, there's grass growing up between the curb and the tarmac.
Yeah. This is.
I mean, this is the homeowner's, we
That's-
take
yes,
care
it
of ours,
is.
it's the responsibility of the homeowner to do it. But Somerset Street is the borough's responsibility. And the guys drive back and forth, they pick up garbage on Somerset Street, they see what it looks like, but they're blind to it because they've looked at it
Well,
for
let me make
so
sure I'm
long.
clear on the policy. You're going to say Somerset Street will take care of, but other
Because it's
streets
coming
will
up
be
through the
possible.
grates of the trees.
Okay. For that reason. Okay, I just want to make sure I
And I mean,
understand.
why go out there once a year and clean it up for the Barcelona parade?
Well, you know, I've
Should be
spoken
done all
with-
the time.
I had a conversation with Public Works. We killed ourselves here at the municipal building. Just walk around the municipal building, there's excessive
Yes.
weeds coming up through, all of the mulch. There's a ton of work that needs to be done here. I've weeded the building myself,
The
all around. We've got
The
bushes
hoses
that
are
need to
coming
be
out
replaced,
from
we've
the-
got
from the
dead bushes that need to
outside.
come out. The guys know it needs to be done. They've had a lot going on, I know that. But there's a lot of work here that needs to be done. And when you're cutting the grass, if you see a weed, pull it out. I mean,
What's the policy on using weed and grass killer on the right of ways? Is there a legal
It has
issue
to be
with it?
licensed by the state.
Put it down.
I thought Bobby was licensed by the state.
I don't know, but I know the county came in one year and did canal park for us.
Well, we should get someone licensed
Bobby, I
then to
think
do that.
Stan
I
thinks
think Bobby
Bobby
is.
is.
More than one person, because if one
I
person
believe
goes down,
Bobby's
you have
licensed. Franklin Township, but I was involved with them for several years, their public works department actually picked up, put a drum on the back,
and just shoot it,
a
fire drop.
500-gallon oil
We
tank.
have a drum.
Yes, put a sprayer on,
Just shoot
spray
where you
it
go.
down the right of way.
I think we need to
That's
do
it.
something
Let me
to
just
We
it.
need to get someone licensed if you need to have a
I
license.
think in the
Bobby.
business district might.
You get more than one person
might do,
licensed.
which would include Thompson and Anderson Street.
Jeff may have one also.
It's a mess.
Well, then, let them spray. We'll buy the spray.
Round it up.
Roundup will take care of it.
A gallon of vinegar, a cup of Epsom salt, and a cup of Dawn detergent.
Yep.
Perfect.
Round up's good too.
It works. But your house smells like a salad.
Ah,
I have another issue for new business.
Okay.
I'd like to discuss the borough engineer and the zoning officer and the land use board and what their authorities are and what they're not. And giving them more authority to authorize certain things. I don't know if we need to define it somehow, but just take, for example, Zeus Industrial came in, spent $15,000 on escrow plans and everything like that for removing and reinstalling a retaining wall, which should have clearly been able to have this engineer review and not have to go through the planning board and incur all those costs. Somebody wants to put a driveway in. I think the zoning officer can look at the property, if they have a site plan, and see if the square footage of their driveway is going to put them over the impervious requirements, or if the driveway is going to be 5 feet from the property line. I don't think these are issues that the homeowner or the property owner needs to, every time, right now, the immediate response is, it's got to go to the land use board. And then you got
That's
your
not true.
escrow.
That's absolutely not true. I'm sorry.
That's what the response
No,
is
it's not.
coming.
No, it's not. I'm sorry, I'm going to totally disagree with you. I just applied for a permit here in town, okay? And when you apply for a permit, the very first thing that happens is it goes to the code official, and he reviews it. And he will first look at it, and the zoning officer, will decide on whether or not it has to go to the next step. He will see. he makes the determination if it has to go. He will say if you need your impervious coverage, he's the one who makes the determination.
Yeah, that's not the responses that I'm getting from.
Well, then it depends.
People.
If people are having a driveway extension, that's impervious coverage. You're talking, that's something totally different.
That's not something that I feel that the zoning officer should be able to look at with the borough engineer and not incur all the costs of going to the zoning board.
But Greg, you don't understand the zoning laws, so that's
That's why I'm saying we need to give them the authorization to look at it before it goes to the board, and then it's immediately a $3,000 escrow.
But you're talking about, and with all due respect, I'm sorry, but I've worked in land use law for a long time, and I've sat on the Board of Adjustment and the Planning Board. You don't understand the laws. There's a lot of implications on the things that you're talking about.
And I'm saying, let's give them the authority to make the decision, but not have it an automatic response that
But
it's gotta go.
those 5 feet can be very detrimental to a lot of different things in the neighboring areas.
And I'm saying, give that zoning officer who we pay a salary to make that decision. Whether it can go over to the house and measure it, and do a square footage analysis. That's something that does not need to be a $3,000 escrow to have the land use lawyer look up and write something on it. He should be able to make that decision with the borough engineer. We pay them a salary to take some of these responsibilities.
I disagree with you, Greg.
Okay, what do you have to say, Sam?
You're both right. You're both wrong. The question was, Lou, I believe, asked those people for a survey of the property, because he felt maybe in his head that if they put the driveway in, it would be over the impervious coverage. If they're over the impervious coverage or over the bulk requirements, the bulk statutes, and it has to go to the land use board. You're not going to change it. That's the way it is. And Lou never had that, so without that, he can't make a determination. I don't think he said you have to go. He says you might have to go if you're over the impervious coverage, which is 30% in this zone. The other issue is Zeus. They imposed $15,000 escrow. I believe they spent about $15,000 on a minor site plan that wasn't necessary. There's a provision in the ordinance that allows the zoning official to or the building department to issue a building permit if it's for maintenance, but maintenance is defined as painting, window replacement, or roof replacement or something. Anything other than that, it has to be determined if a minor site plan is required, but it's only done by the land use board in consultation with the borough engineer. My opinion, that might be a step too far. If you're going to rely on my opinion anyway, rely on my opinion whether they need a minor site plan or not. So the people, Zeus, they were in a hurry to get this environmental cleanup finished. They didn't want to waste a month if they were going to be denied the waiver of site plan, so they went and they prepared a site plan. So they did work they had to do, because in the end, I went to the board asked me if we should give them a waiver of site plan. They received a waiver of site plan. That language, I think, has to be looked at a little bit better with the board. We could have saved a step there.
See, I'm also concerned about consistency. I mean, we have a person over here who wants to put in a driveway, but the council approved the driveway on Thompson Street, cut out. How does that work? There's absolutely no consistency in what we're doing here.
But that driveway cut out, Greg, you know as well as I do that was not done properly.
No, it wasn't.
That was not.
The curb wasn't opened with
That
a
curb
permit
was
or
not done,
anything.
yes, so that was not done.
So what repercussions were they, and I'm asking for consistency here too. I could go over zoning, I could go over use variances.
You're taking one thing.
Well, no, I could also go into changing uses of places. One person has denied it, and another person is not even questioned about it. I'm not going to bring it up because apparently there's already somebody in there, in this property, that never went to the board for a use change. And somebody prior to it had to go to the board for a use change. I'm looking for consistency here, and we're not getting it.
Greg, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'll explain that other one to you some other time.
Well, maybe what we need to do is list this as a workshop agenda item, if you feel that strongly about it.
Well, I do feel that there's no consistency, and there needs to be better.
And I think maybe sometimes it's a confusion. unclear actually as to what the power of the land has and what it doesn't. And
Well, I just don't feel everything
it's-
needs
it's
to
a-
go to
it's
the
a
land use
discussion.
board.
It's a discussion that should be had when our zoning officer is here, so that he can answer questions.
I agree.
Because land use law is very complex and very complicated. And even the best people don't always understand what it is. So any other new business? All right, second portion of public comment, anyone wishing to be heard? Are you going to speak or are you leaving?
No.
The land use boards are coming
Oh,
up.
I'm sure it is.
This is our vice chairman of the land
Yes.
use board.
I really didn't want to say any more, but Greg's kind of put me in a corner here. If in fact you decide in a workshop session, I strongly encourage you to have a land use attorney that you pay for here to guide you, because this is not some area that you can just make decisions and make ordinances. This is state law. This is people are sworn in before the land use board. They can be held in contempt of court. This is not like the willy-nilly. And if you're citing examples of where uses have been changed and kind of gone behind the back, well then I would suggest that we get the proper officials to go and find out about it and bring it before the proper authorities, and there'll be a ruling. It's no joke.
I'm not gonna do that because I wanna see a business and I wanna see this business
Well,
thrive.
what about-
And the
what about
reason
the other-
the building has been vacant for 3 years is because of the land use
The
board.
land use board is not there to make it more difficult for the town. The land use board is there to make it fair for everyone, to bend over backwards to help the businesses. If you have somebody that breaks the rules, that's not doing anything any better and any good for those that follow the rules. Simple as that.
Very well said, thank you. Very well said.
Anyone else wishing to be heard? I see no one. I will close the second portion of public comment. Do I have a motion to close the?
So moved.
Second.
Bruce?